Today we're gonna figure out how to take serious speed gains and turn them into distance gains.
I mean, those numbers are pretty ridiculous for carry. That was legit, Kyle.
Welcome back to the Road to 180. In past episodes, we've learned from great instructors some techniques and ideas to gain speed. Today, we're looking to take that speed and turn it into distance. So we're heading to Dallas, Texas to meet up with Jon Sinclair. He's an expert club fitter, one of the top coaches out there. He's been a part of the R&D with the TPT Golf Shafts team. There are 3 parts to today's episode. 1, we go through Jon's really unique and detailed fitting process to find the perfect club. In part 2, we learn some of the most important parts of a driver shaft that honestly I feel like aren't talked about and I didn't know before heading down there. And finally, in part 3, we hit the clubs that Jon built in part 2 and see the results. Plus, he has a bit of a twist on how I can max out speed with these new clubs.
You got your good Texas 105 heat today. When you said this feels like a sledgehammer, that was like very telling.
Let's get into this fitting.
John, thanks for coming on.
Nice to see you, yeah.
So I've used this, gosh, I think it's 5 or 6 years ago and haven't switched. Not paid to play this or do anything. I've just really enjoyed it, hit it well, and that's why I reached out and said like, hey, let's go again.
It is very rare that we would actually have a club that would go not be fit later, but you're increasing your speed.
I'm working on it.
You're changing everything, so that might have an effect, we'll see,
Okay.
On you needing a new shaft. But as a general rule, when we fit people, it lasts as long as you're swinging that way.
Yeah. No, I feel it might be time for a new head.
This was one of the best ones they made, the 400, yes. People don't realize too, you try to go to get a new head, and you've been beating on this a while. Well, this head's faster than when you bought it. So it actually, the head gets better. People don't realize the older one, it's not always the best just to get a brand new head.
So, all right, so what's the typical process? Like, what is your club fitting process?
Typically what we want to do is we're checking this today
Okay.
to see if you know, this one works.
Yep,
We
yep.
want you fully loose, which you are right now. And then we want to hit just, 5, 6 shots to see, this is what I'm normally seeing, this is what's happening on the golf course.
Okay.
And then we try to beat it to see if this one's the best or if we can make it just a little bit better.
We'll have to figure these things out as we go, huh?
So
All
these
right.
will be very good stuff. So the swing weight, which is super heavy, right at about E0, which will give you tons of mass down there. It's helping the ball speed, but maybe you could swing it faster if you weren't having the moment of inertia so high.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that jumps out of me on that. So you're right at 46 inches.
Okay.
So as long as you can go legally. So we know what that is. We got 10.5 degrees. You got it set at 1.
I got one down.
Yeah, 1 down. And so we're at 9.5 degrees. What it
That
says.
was my own tinkering just to try to bring down the ball flight.
So what I want is what you would do normally. And of course, we're trying to get speed, so we need to get it going as fast as we can. So let's just see what you have.
Over the black baskets, let's hit some. Oh, that is slow though. Oh, we don't like that. All right, 112 won't do. That is not what we want for a baseline.
Like my tour players, a lot of times we'll see them Monday 3 to 4 miles an hour slower, maybe even more. Then Tuesday they pick up a little more. Then we'll start seeing it Wednesday, Thursday when they're really back. But this is a weekly thing. But you have to realize too on your quest that you're going to have those days. And the long drive guys, they're working to peak. Not even in the first qualifying rounds, but more towards the end. So you got to realize that that's a natural occurrence.
That was a nice golf
strike.
shot. There we go.
So there's your 117. But generally we're seeing the miss not like this, but to the left.
Yeah, when I'm really getting after it. Yes.
Okay, well, let's really get after it.
Now we're talking. That's a shot that I don't like, where it just is high, and then it feels like I've just lost so much distance on it.
We're catching a lot of speed. Okay, hang on just a second. So that's part of our issues. I like 5 millimeters out towards the toe.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
But I want to see 5 millimeters up in the face. So that's truly where we're losing some of the distance.
Okay.
And some of actually where it's gaining the spin because we're hitting it a little bit low.
Okay.
Now that could be simple as a T adjustment,
Yeah.
because this is pretty close to perfect, it's just 10 millimeters off. But it also could be a shaft adjustment that it doesn't droop as much. So we may add a little bit of droop in order to push that up.
Got
so
it.
we'll see. So give me one more and then we'll try one.
One of the goals is like when I go on a par 5 and I want to like absolutely try to hammer it, I want to feel like I've gained something.
Sure.
You know, because like right now I do that on the golf course and I feel like I should have just hit a normal.
Well, and
you
yeah,
know,
because you
stock
can
shot.
see that when you pick up speed, you're going to hit it lower in the face, you're going to put more spin, and then you're losing 14 yards in the air right there. That's a problem. So let's see.
Okay.
Let me see your club.
Yep.
See if I can make this head lighter. So I'm not going to go to 46 inches in my fittings. Let's see, we got it down just a little there. When we're fitting a player, 16 low in this case, or 16 high in that case, you don't have any
No clue.
preconceived notions of what it is.
Right.
We just want to take that away.
Right.
Because you're not mentally ready to see something that might improve you.
Yep.
And so with this, we get all kinds of different answers from the players, and
Right.
then you'll spit out the answers I need as we go along.
Yep.
So like even when I tested this originally with all the tour players, they would usually tell me it's loose.
Okay.
And so if I tightened the torque and gave them more flex, they would tell me this is stiffer. So torque is how much if we statically, and this will be important later,
Okay.
if we statically, have it there, and
Yep.
how much if we put a certain amount of weight, and I can show you the torque
Oh,
machine in
okay.
there, and twist it, so how much it'll twist.
Okay.
And then flex is how much it bends.
Yep. Flex is what we all think about. None of us really think about torque.
Correct.
Yep.
And torque is really the one that jumps out that says this is important. So the higher torque, I will see the dispersion go to the right. We're not talking about draws and fades, just
Okay.
the overall dispersion will move over to the right.
Okay.
The lower the torque, I see it go to the left. Okay, so obviously when we're swinging it, it's torquing open.
Yep.
The more it torques open, it happens. We're not gonna give you much time.
Yeah.
2 swings ought to be
Okay.
good enough.
Okay.
And then, because you'll start adjusting.
Right.
And the whole point is not to have to adjust.
Don't want to adapt.
So we want to say, okay, here's a club
Yeah.
for you. Go play it tomorrow. I don't want to hear you walk out of here and go, I gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
No, it should work, right? It
yes.
should go.
Yeah. Okay.
So we changed the shaft. So what I want to hear from
Okay.
you is just whatever you're thinking.
Okay. Hit fine. I don't know. Not great. Oh, God, that feels weird to time up.
So give me more analysis on that. Like when,
On that one, I
why,
felt
what.
like I had to control the club head and I had to like move the club head to get it square.
Okay. Do you have any suggestion as why you would have needed to do that?
I don't know, just because the first one went way right, so I was trying to.
Okay, so that was a mental adjustment versus something the club was having you do?
Right. Correct. Correct.
So don't do anything. Just try to
It's a
swing
nice
fast,
swing.
right?
117. It was fast. Okay. It was low, obviously off the
Okay, let me
off
see
the
it.
face, but I mean those numbers are pretty ridiculous for carry.
Okay.
I feel like that's better than what I had before. Good to go?
Yes.
Much lower as far as the club feels. Head is heavier.
The head feels heavier?
The head feels heavier. Feels a little bit more like the old one. That's got to be good.
That was fun.
That's what we want right there.
This video is sponsored by TPT shafts. Here's what you need to know about them. They are machine made, so there's no spine, no imperfections, and they just feel super stable. The other thing you can do is get more flex because they are very low torque. So you need to feel the difference. Go hit one, and you can find a fitter at tptgolf.com. Go check it out. All right, let's get back to the episode.
So we know now that the head itself is pretty close to your old head.
Okay.
And this is the new 430 LST.
Okay.
Obviously, Both things I gave you is diminishing the spin. We're getting more compression, decreasing the spin loft.
Okay.
So we're at 7.7 spin loft. You were much higher than that with the other one. So here's your original head at 9.6 spin loft. And then now the one I gave you there dropped down to 7.3. I think that was still low in the face, and I'll explain that in a second. And now our average is 6.9. So on this head, I dropped it down to 9.5 degrees of loft. This head was 9.5 degrees of loft, but the shaft had a lower kick point, so it was the high model, was adding a little bit more loft. And then now I've taken another half degree off of your loft of your club to get this compression. When we look at spin loft, and I talk about compression, so the wider these things get, so if we're talking about attack angle, the lower one, and then the face of the club, the upper one, the wider that goes, so when we're talking about pitching and chipping, which is hot debate, we're trying to get this spin loft up to about 55 degrees to create the most friction and get the most spin.
Yep.
But on driver, we don't want that. And you can see you were at, what was it,
9.6.
Now, as we compress this in, we're going to get more energy into the ball to squeeze the ball because it'll compress it better.
Okay. So
Okay.
is 0 spin loft what
Well,
you
that
want?
would be maximum, but then now you're going to have a ball that flies out there with no spin. You got to have some spin
Okay.
to keep it in the air. So when we talk about what we're doing is we're squeezing that number because we want more ball speed.
Yep.
So the more I squeeze that number, the more ball speed. But diminishing returns, then I'm going to lose flight.
Got it.
So when we look at this last club that you have in your hands right there, we're looking at several things. The spin loft, of course, we're looking at the spin. You can see, as TrackMan says, that's pretty close to optimal. Like everything could be up just a little.
Okay.
But we have to look at this and go, this is for max carry and total. We have to look at this as I'm after ball speed.
Yeah.
Not so much carry. So at usual this swing speed, I'm going to look for a land angle around 38.
Okay.
And so this one was
This
just
is
a
low.
slight bit low.
Okay.
But I'm looking for ball speed, right?
Okay.
So it could be that we have one that goes ball speed and one that goes like you go play
Got
with
it.
right?
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
that's why we're seeing a little bit better ball speed in this one. So we got up 1 mile an hour, you can see over the last one with that half a degree of spin loft drop on average.
So let me try it. Let me make sure to summarize this. So if we lowered spin loft to 0, we might see the highest ball speeds.
Yeah.
But it's obviously an unplayable golf club. Like, we
Well, I
couldn't
mean,
use
not
it.
necessarily. I mean, Bryson's playing, what, 4 degree or something
Right.
driver? So
Yeah.
he's and
He's
then
getting that
he
spin loft
swings
as well.
up on it.
Okay.
I don't know the numbers he swings up. I heard
Sure.
it was 4 degrees, but I'm sure it's 5 or more
Okay.
to do the bombs. that
He's
he hits.
minimized his spin loft a lot. it
Right,
seems
and
like.
we could never, you got to realize this too, I don't think with the limit of tee height, we could never optimize how far we could actually hit it.
Okay.
Because we would want that attack angle probably at 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, and then 0 loft.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, and hitting it straight up in the air, and then we could really. But we're not going to be able to do that with a legalized
Got it.
tee height, right?
So what is realistic? If 6'9" is kind of where we were just on a few shots here.
Yeah, I mean a little higher than that,
Okay.
probably 8
Okay.
ish.
Because
right
they
in
want more
there.
spin, more playability.
Right. So I'm looking for most tour players. It depends on what they want. If we're looking for maximizing distance, I'm going to have them averaging about 2,200.
Okay.
If we're looking more playability, I'm going to have them averaging about 25.
Okay.
So, and some can have both.
Okay. And just to tie it together, so lower spin loft is lower spin, right?
Yes.
And a higher spin loft is going to give a higher spin rate.
Correct.
Okay.
All the way through the bag, no matter what you're looking at.
Got it. Got it.
Got it? So try that one more time.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is.
That's what we call an outlier that no club in the world could help you with.
You know what I've learned, John, on this journey is to not be afraid of the mishits. You
That's
know?
good.
Good amount of club head
Just
speed.
mishit it. That's good. Let
Not
me
a
see
great
the club
strike
now.
though.
So now we're going to do a little experiment.
You'll be fine, Kyle. Okay, different feel. I mean, that looks pleasing to the eye.
The feel?
The ball flight did. It was just very chill. It was a very chill shot for me.
Not much was going on there. Pretty easy to hit.
Didn't swing that hard.
Okay, let it full
Okay,
rip.
we'll go full send here. That was decent.
No, I think you're doing fine. Because remember, we still have an 1/2 inch we can play with too.
We do. You're right. You're right.
So that's starting to look kind of good
Yeah.
in a way. I kinda
Yeah.
like, you know, both those. This is a little not as straight as the other one. It's a little more to the right. See how the dispersion's kind of
Yeah.
leaked over to the right?
It has a leak over there a little bit. What is my attack angle? 6?
No, come on, don't mess around.
Okay, sorry.
Quit
I won't
being-
look.
Quit being a baby.
I won't look. This one's not going left, I'll tell you that much. Pretty solid 149 smash.
Yeah, we've been staying pretty well right there. All right, let me see it.
I don't mind.
You don't what?
These last ones they feel good. What's the average, like how many different combos do people go through in a fitting?
To be honest, I'm already done.
Okay.
But, you know, it just depends on how good the player is. You're obviously a good player, so it makes it easier.
Oh, that feels so heavy.
It does. Oh, interesting.
I don't know what,
That felt
reaction
heavy.
means.
So that one just feels terrible, huh?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I am sweaty.
Well, that hasn't even begun to get hot yet either. It's only 83 in here. This thing blinks out later, it'll go over 100. What'd that feel like?
Blah.
Just felt like I had no chance of getting it square on that one.
Wow, went a long way though. Jeez.
Didn't even go that far right. Okay, let me see it.
I can swing this one.
Give me preference.
Yeah.
What did you prefer of all the ones that you hit?
I have fond memories of, there were a couple in there that went well. We talked about the red one, but the one before that is my vague memory of felt good.
Okay.
That felt good too.
Hit that one more time then.
Okay.
So what, like, I'm saying a lot of words.
Like trying to say adjectives during a fitting, right? Like, felt like I could swing that one okay, or
Yeah.
that one's going way right. This one's going, I can't feel it. It's way too heavy, like a sledgehammer.
I love that.
Like, what am I describing? Am I describing
You're
swing rate all the
describing,
time? Or
you're
what am I
describing all of it. You're describing flex that I know what I'm handing you.
Yeah.
So you're describing torque, you're describing flex, you're describing head weight, swing
Okay.
weight. You're describing it all, and it's my job to learn your language, right?
Got it.
I want to know what you're feeling. So when you said this feels like a sledgehammer, that was like very telling. That told me something.
Maybe you'll reveal it one day what that means.
Yes, I'll reveal it.
No, it went left, but
Well, you were complaining that you couldn't hit it left.
it feels good. It feels fast, this one. I don't know, whatever.
So now I'll start telling you
Okay.
what we were doing. So
I will say, this, whatever you just had me hitting, this feels better.
right. So what we did there is once I knew which one it was,
Yeah.
which was this one.
Which is the shaft, which shaft it was.
Shaft and head,
Okay.
both. Because we did try another head.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
I was not paying attention.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So the other ones were really just designed to mess you up, so that you would
What do you
hit
mean?
it all over the place
Okay.
a little bit, like you hated it.
Yeah.
It's too heavy.
Yeah.
Those were by design because I don't want you to be in that mode. And when I hand you back what I believe to be the correct one, I should see it
Yeah.
come right back.
Right.
Which it did in 2 shots. You hit this one good, right?
Yes.
I mean, the only difference I think we're going to make in this is make it longer just to see.
Right.
So take it out to 46 inches versus 45 and a half. We could always cut it. And
You think that'll be a bit faster? Yeah, an extra half inch?
it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes longer makes you slower.
Oh.
There's a caveat to that. This is another good
Okay.
part for your segment. Is I can hand somebody a heavier club and they would swing faster.
Okay.
Okay, and then if they work on their speed,
Uh-huh.
eventually lighter would be better. But they might engage some different muscles that makes them go faster. But I've seen over time, if then we start working on speed, we would eventually go lower.
Oh, interesting.
But at first, it may be I hand you a heavier club and it goes
Yeah.
faster. Well, we tested the heavier club with your original one.
Oh.
So we were at, you know,
Yeah. Yep.
68, 70 grams with the original one.
Yep.
And then I went down to 65 and even 60.
Okay.
Okay, to see how you would do it.
Yeah.
And then as far as seeing where we want to go,
Yeah.
this one would be the one that I would recommend.
So what did we end up on?
So this is a D3.5.
Okay.
So could stretch a D5 doing some testing once we
Okay.
get it longer. And it's 45.5, 16 low,
Okay.
65 grams. This is the nitro versus you had the power range.
Oh,
Okay,
what's the
so
difference?
it's two different shafts, so we can make these lighter with lower torque. You were at 68 grams, 3.5 torque.
Okay.
Okay, and then the 16 low now
That's
in the
nitro
nitro is 65 grams, 3 torque, so it cuts a point off of it.
Okay.
And then I gave you the 17 low, which
Yeah.
was 3.3, so right in between.
Okay.
And then you turn around and look at this, and you see when it happened. So we see the ones with the lower torque tend to be more over here, and then as soon as I gave you the higher torque, they start drifting right.
Okay.
So that goes back to my original statement.
Right.
And had I given you a ton more flex,
Yeah.
you probably would have seen some start to hook simply because they would have been over here. Had we gone to 4 torque or something like that,
Got it.
then you would have started hooking them.
Got it. Got it.
But that's also why I don't give you more. I think I gave you a couple extra, 3 at the most,
Okay.
in a row to swing to see how you did. So that's how you can see it. So it moved that dispersion a little more back
Sure.
to the left.
Sure.
And then if I wanted to tip that a little bit to get the torque a little lower, then I can move it a touch more to the left.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, but that didn't mean you drew it more.
Right.
Those shots were very similar,
Yeah.
kind of more hanging to the right.
Right.
Just they were less to the right with the
Okay.
3 torque.
And let's look at the head. What is the head? It's
So
the
we
LST
went
one
from the
as well.
LST 10.5 and I
Okay.
lowered it to 9.
Okay.
When I put you in the same weight head, but the 9,
Okay.
that's the one you started not liking and
Okay.
didn't like the feel. And I did try you at 8
Yeah.
degrees in there.
Okay.
So it just wasn't as good.
Got it.
And I was
Got it.
trying to really compress the ball, and this one turned out to be, you know, we've got good compression on the ball with this one. We have room to grow.
Yeah.
That one wasn't even hit perfectly solid. We already saw that we started to move your
Yeah.
hot spot up.
Yep.
And that's what we want to see.
Yep.
Because then it's just now, if I have somebody that can deliver with this shaft, deliver the club the same way all the time, well, now it's just a matter of, I always call it moving the robot. You
Yep.
know, I move the tee. When I
Yep.
do robot work, you know, I sit there and I move
Okay.
the tee around
With
until
your-
I hit it where I want it,
Huh.
right? And with you, I'm just going to move you around until
Sure.
you hit it where you want
Sure.
it.
What we did, from what I'm saying, is like I could never get this carry number at home when I've been working, right? Like this isn't even like 117, 118 club head speed is good for me right now. 175 ball speed is decent. That's pretty good. But I couldn't get 313 carry, tell you that much. And is that because we've brought the spin down?
Right, so the spin's
Okay.
quite a bit different. We can do a quick comparison here. And I have this set, just so everybody knows too, I have this set on 95 degrees and 500 feet.
Okay.
So that's what that calculation. So you can watch your average there was 289.5 carry.
Yeah.
And then up here 306. Now, you know, we could have hit more and maybe this would go up a little bit, maybe it would go down.
Yeah.
So we've got 9.6 down to 7.9.
Quite a big difference. there.
Right, so that's going to give us more energy into the ball. We lowered it down to 2,000 spin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's exciting, you came in and asked me, do I care about carry or ball speed? And it's like, we're going for 180 ball speed, but like, I also play golf. So like seeing
Right.
my carry numbers be into the 310s potentially, there's a mild bit of excitement about that reality.
Yeah, that's fun. And then it's going to go probably carry a little further if we go up in
really?
the loft. So
Okay.
if I move this one to the 1 down, so
Got it.
a 9.5 degree, you're going to get a touch more carry.
Okay.
So, and then because that spin will go up, the
Yeah.
launch will go up. Just some little better quality strikes higher in the face.
Sure.
That ball speed's going to go higher than that.
Okay, so peel back the curtain here. The 16 low that we're in, what is that? Is that stiff, extra stiff, regular, somewhere in between?
It would be
like where are we?
stiff.
Stiff.
I mean, I
okay.
would consider it a stiff shaft
Yeah.
compared to out there on the market.
Yeah, but it's the torque though, because if I go hit a normal stiff shaft, I'm gonna hook the crap out of it.
Right.
And it's going directly, I can't hit it, right?
And that's when we go back to that original statement. The first one you hit right, and then you start hooking it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're like, ugh.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you go that way.
So on this, it's the torque is low, and so is that
yeah, it's
helping
three.
me?
It's three, which is not typically. It's not low if you go, okay, well, I'm gonna go get a different brand and
Okay.
go, oh, this is low. But when we start comparing the flex,
Okay.
it's super low. So we were able to give you a little extra flex, give you a little more kick into the ball with a lower torque, so you could find it.
Yep. Yep. It looks like a regular flex shaft sometimes when you're just looking at it, but it feels so good.
Right. And so this is kind of easy to see. You can look down at that, so you can see that this is just one flag, and it's just a straight 0. So this one's 6 degrees offline. That one's 3 degrees offline, and you can see these are straight. So when you flex
Okay.
a shaft, remember we're measuring torque from static position.
Yep.
So what happens when I flex the shaft? It twists.
Yep.
So
That's
I'm not
torque, right?
twisting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's adding or subtracting. I mean, who knows which way it twists,
Okay.
right? Or a TPT that's straight.
Got it.
So I call it dynamic torque.
Okay.
Because when I bend when I flex a shaft in my golf swing, and that 0 is not straight, well, it's twisting. That's why you feel the stability through the tip. Every fitting, I mean, you already had the shaft, so we didn't hear the word,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we hear stable.
Stable. Yeah.
We feel it stable through there because they're used to feeling this.
Yep.
So even though it may torque out the same, so you
Yep.
may have another shaft that's 3,
Yep.
then when you bend it, what is it?
Yep.
And then when you twist it in the head,
Yep.
the other ones we end up twisting it, and it
Sure,
changes.
sure.
It could change the flex, it could change the torque, it could change a lot of things.
Yep.
Certainly
Well,
change the feel.
Am I on the right spot of like, since I've ever used one, I've always thought like, gosh, a more flexible shaft is very nice and I like it, and I'm able to keep it on the planet, and it feels like I'm gonna hit it in the same spot every time, right? Is that
Yes.
that feeling then,
Yes.
right? Okay, got it. That's what I've thought, and that's what I've told people whenever they ask me, because it is that. It's just like,
Yeah.
it has way more flex than you'd think, and it feels great. All right, so flex versus torque, we've talked about it a lot, and we've all seen those charts, right? If you're like me, you look at it and go like, that's a number, this is more and this is less. But explain it for us. What do those mean?
So this is a torque measuring machine
Okay.
to see how much twist the shaft has in it. I always like to do this one before I tighten that one, so that's held in its place so it doesn't have any twist to it. And so just tighten that down. This side's holding it nice. And then it's pretty simple. You zero it out, and then you just lift up one of the sides, and you can say this is 3.4 on that one, so that twisted just a little bit. See how I gotta do this right here? You gotta watch it. So if it, see how it would spin right there? And then you just lift it up on the other side too, 3.3. So take that out and we'll do the 16 low.
And is lower always better for torque?
No, it's ball flight. Like
Okay.
we checked you out there, and as I did raise the torque, it went too far to the right, but that doesn't mean that somebody wouldn't have a dispersion too far left, and a higher torque shaft would be better.
Yep.
But that's why we make all the different ones with different torques, different flexes, both the power range and the nitro, which these are nitros. 297 there, so again, we're right at that 3.0 torque and twist in that one.
Got it.
And
So the 16 low has
3.3. Oh, 3.
There's 3.
17
and
low
this
was
is
3.3.
Okay.
And so this one has a little more twist in it than the other one. And of course, now if you had the center of mass of the head, the bigger, the wider that is away, it's going to pull on it even more.
Okay.
So this one's not going to twist as much due to the center of mass being off the head, pulling it.
Yeah.
Because the general rule is to say that a higher torque, which we saw with you, went a little further to the right, and a lower, a little less to the right, still went to the right, but a little less. But I've seen tons of players that somehow have this feeling of the face opening,
Yeah.
and they shut it.
Got it.
So they might hook it on the first one,
Yeah.
And then you see them with a low torque and it goes really high. And so that's just an inert feeling that some players could have. And they're not necessarily tour players. It's just an average player. People don't give even average players credit for the feel they actually have. You have an avid golfer, maybe they play once a week, practice once a week. They're gonna have unbelievable feel. They just don't know it, or they've convinced themselves, well, I'm not a tour player, so I can't feel anything. That's not true.
So we're all reacting to that club in our hands, right?
So like for you, had we changed just those 2 shafts, we would have seen a physical change in your swing.
Okay.
So we're gonna build the 2 shafts that we said. We're gonna make one just in case, you know, just for a little fun, little speed, and then the 116 low that I think is his gamer and the one we're gonna ultimately use. But we're gonna have a little fun. We'll just make those. So the idea is we're gonna have a ping club. I'll just check that, and then I just wanna, remember we had 2 clear coats, so we just wanna rough that off. TPT shafts, we only hand sand. Some places use machine sanding. If you do that, you dig into the fibers too much. I take the tips that we have and I have a little sand in there and I roughen those up just a little bit inside. They have little ridges in there that helps bind the epoxy. So technically you wouldn't have to rough them up, but I like to anyway. I have 2 different kinds of epoxy. This is gonna be quick set because we wanna try it this afternoon. Never had any issues with this epoxy using it, but I have some other that's a little bit stronger that sets overnight. So it's pretty simple from here. I just do a little coating on the shaft like that and then make sure I get it all. So just make sure I get it to the bottom and that looks good. Just put it on like that. A little coating on that inside of that part. Just make sure that's good. And off we go. Twist it on there. And then on his, we deemed that we're gonna start off with it on the 1.5 less loft. So on that one, I just set it to where that's below. You don't have to do that on these shafts, but just for looks. And this way, I always know when I get it back that I set that 1.5 down right there. So if somebody comes back into me later, I know where I put it for the original fitting and I don't have to go back and look at my notes. It's just right on there and I know I did that. So I just put it on there and take a little acetone to get the excess glue off of there. A little tap on the ground and do the next one. You know, the only difference we're gonna have is we're gonna make them 46 inches instead of the fitting at 45.5. And if we do need to cut it and go, okay, that'll feel better. So that'll be the only thing you'll feel the difference. So in the next 30 minutes, you'll be hitting it.
Got it. Let's cut it, put a grip on it.
Okay, so now we're going to cut and grip the 2 shafts. So you can see I have it. I put the head on big minus, so that's a 3.5. Put it in here, it makes it pretty simple. So we want to cut it at 46.
Well, I want to ask you about that. So I don't know why my driver shaft was at 46. I mean, that's just what I've played for the last 5 years, I think. Like, how do you make that call?
It's a test.
Okay.
Because there, you know, obviously if the longer I make something, the faster it would move, right?
Yes.
But then there's inertia and it's out there, and sometimes the longer it is, if you're not strong enough, you can't move it.
Okay.
So obviously, like long drive guys play it at 48 because
Right.
they can get, they're strong and they can do it. So technically, longer would help you go faster, but I have seen plenty of people go shorter and go faster. And then the other key is that if I go too long and then I'm lose the ability to hit it in the center of the face, I'm gonna lose ball speed.
Huh.
So a lot of times shorter, maybe you go slower,
Yeah.
but you hit it more in the middle of the face, ball speed goes faster. So it's kind of, you just test, and that's
Got
what
it.
we're doing. We're gonna cut it at 46 just to see, because we
Yeah.
tested only 45.5,
Yeah.
to see if you gain anything. If you don't, we may go back and cut it, but once I cut it, I can't make you go back.
What it like? Is a 1/2 inch enough? Do you go an inch shorter? Like what actually makes a difference?
I mean, a 1/4 inch makes a difference for me.
Okay.
Being able to hit it in the center.
Okay.
So if I go from 45 to 40.25 on anything, I lose control of it.
Okay.
So it does make a difference.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, let's
All right,
figure it
let's
out.
cut it.
I have no idea.
All right. So just simple gripping. Want to have the club head lined up. Got it clamped in here. Just put a little tape. So I do it a little different from some people, I'll cut that edge off. And I'm going to use these little pieces here. I'll show you why in a minute. Just to make sure everything sticks. Now what I use this little piece for is just to put a cap on the butt. Instead of that twisting, usually you'd see it like twisted and stuff down in there.
Yep.
Well, that holds the solvent in it for a long time. I've seen it hold it for a long time, like weeks.
Huh.
You don't need a lot on there, just enough. Oh, well, it's good to go. See how it looks.
That looks great. Yeah. Cool.
We'll do the other one and then swing weight it, check it,
Okay.
and go from there.
Awesome.
So this is our 16 low. Remember it was D3.5 at 45.5. This is 46. So this only went up to, looks like D4.5, so that's gonna be great for our test. And if we need to take a little out of the head, that's great. If we take weight off the back and move the CG up forward, take spin off. If we need to add weight, it's going to make it spin a little more. So the more weight we can get back here, the more stable it makes. More weight up there, less spin. And we can do that with glue too if we need to. But mostly TPTs lean more towards a heavier swing weight, so we're really usually making it lighter.
Got it. So we have the club. It's built, it's dried, ready to go. John, let's hit some. Let's see where we ended up.
Now that's the 17 low, the one we
17
built for fun,
Okay.
to see if we get a little more speed out of it.
Because it's lighter and has more flex.
Correct.
Okay. Missed it a bit right.
118.
Speeds are good.
Speed's good there. You just got to get it squared up. So this is at 46. That was at 45.5. All right, next one, don't hold back.
Okay, no hold back on the next one. I gotta round up some tees. Gotta keep the head on the swivel. You never know when a giant rattler's gonna pop out of nowhere. Now,
All right, don't hold back, and I want you
Okay.
to try to release it.
okay.
Don't hold anything back.
This is what I need to work on anyway, so this is helpful. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be faster speed. Not a great
Low in the
strike.
yeah, 122 almost.
That was our one
I'm
of our,
going to give you 122, 120, 127.
that was our fastest club head speed of the day.
So clearly that's working for speed.
Yeah.
We got to get the accuracy better.
It's closer. No, it didn't get it.
All right, let's try the other one before you leave.
118. Okay. All right, so what I'm seeing with the 17 low, it's definitely going a bit right.
Right.
I'm not releasing the club on that one.
Right. We did see a couple of the ball speed up higher.
I got up to 177, 178 with that one.
Right.
That might have
But
been
the
off
control
camera.
was not quite there.
No control.
Wasn't like the other one. Now our main question too is, how does that feel compared to the fitting clubs? Now that's 17 low. It'll be more the question on this one.
I mean, I like it better because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I've played 46 for 7 years now, so comfortable with it. My glasses won't stay on anymore. I don't know what to do.
A little hot. You got your good Texas 105 heat today. All right, now let's see what this does.
That felt more solid and stable right off the bat. I know I still lost it a bit right, but felt very easy. It was a 1.49 smash, so. John, I got to hit one here.
Yeah, we got the speed,
We're losing it.
but I don't like the direction. You're making me think the 45.5 is better.
Huh. I just can't.
Let me
I
try
can't get a
switching
center
the weight.
strike.
No,
It's my bad, not.
no, I don't ever blame you until I'm ready to. We'll just see if we can move it over to the heel and see if that helps you. Because that was part of the experiment, to see if that extra ½ inch possibly giving you a little more speed, but we've lost control. And that
Sure.
goes back to that original question. You're not going to know how to square the club.
Right. It's very
Okay,
true.
so you're going to have to learn that part. That's part of chasing speed, is once you get the speed, then you have to learn how to hit the ball.
That was,
right? And so if you imagine that you're used to squaring the club at 115,
yeah.
right, 116, and all of a sudden that club's getting there faster, well, that club's more open.
Yep.
So you need to now try to just hook it
Okay.
and see what happens. Because the numbers aren't bad.
No, numbers
Spin and all
are
that's not bad.
numbers are good. All right, here we go. Hook it. Got it. Come on.
All right, you get one more, and then you have to try the 45.5 again. So hold on, go to the top, stop. So from the top, I can say it this way, close the club face early
Yeah.
so you don't have to close it late.
Okay.
So you're waiting. That's why I'd like to see that 3D that you did
Yeah.
and see the club axle velocity to see how early you were shutting the club face.
All right, we'll shut it earlier. Shut it. I'm swinging fast. We're struggling to make contact.
Yep.
John.
But now switch.
Okay.
Let me have it.
Is this pretty normal, John?
No.
Okay.
Well, we don't normally change the club
Yeah.
from the initial fitting.
Got it.
That part's not normal at all. But we did it because I don't have fitting clubs at 46, and we're trying to get speed, which that
Right.
seemed to work. But we can't gain speed and sacrifice.
But I'll adapt to it though,
ball.
right?
Well,
Like-
it's possible. But it could be like you asked me before. Does it matter? A quarter inch. I'm not going to adapt.
Okay.
I'm going to keep hitting it like crap.
Okay.
That's just me, right? And I've never been able to hit no matter how much I've tried, a longer club. But that, again, that's just me.
Right. Just rip it down there.
Okay.
Here we go. Don't do that, ball. Ah. All right, we laid off.
Don't
that
be
one.
good.
That's why it was perfect. We laid off it. It was only 115.
But already more center contact.
Yeah.
That one went a little right, but
No, it was a great shot. Out of the heel, but still better. Yes.
yeah. So now we're at 150 smash, getting very similar. So it could be just a learned process on the other one.
I mean,
Now I want full gas.
okay,
here.
full gas. Here we go.
What did you tell me Mark told you to do? So
So the idea is here and then pushing more
off the
this
left
way.
side?
Yeah.
Okay,
Up and-
so let's do
up
that.
and at it. Okay.
You don't want to have to feel like I mean, we want maximum effort, but I don't want you to feel like it. That's way closer.
That was probably faster.
See, so we can get those same numbers with a little bit shorter club, and you got a way better chance of hitting in the middle.
Yeah.
So now let's think through it. So when you set up, let me have the club.
Yep.
And you set up, and you're here, club's in the middle.
Yeah.
Then when you come up, your tendency is going to want to hit it in the heel.
Okay.
So set it up a little bit more towards the toe, and that'll
Okay.
move you back. Remember, we were talking about moving the robot, so we're just
Yeah.
going to move you back.
Okay.
Give us just a little bit more chance to hit it in the toe. There we go. So that's
That's
boom.
going to be good. 176 ball speed, 118 club head speed.
So that's clearly easier to square the face.
It is. 311 carry. I think we could
Right,
work
that's
with that.
one of the longest ones. So we're starting to get max performance here.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good right there. And 177, now we're close. And it's not that the longer wouldn't be better. So what
Yeah.
I would do is take the 16 low,
Yeah.
cut it,
Yeah.
leave that 17 low longer for you to play around with,
Okay.
and see if you can't get some speed that way. But I mean, you got to go play the amateur here.
Yeah. He's falling over, glass is falling off. We're having fun is what we are.
That's pretty good though. But we haven't sacrificed speed, club head speed with that combination.
All right, one more full rip at it.
So the 17, we showed the ability to get to 122,
Yeah.
right? This one we showed the ability to get to 118, so we have both ways for you to practice. That's bombed.
That's gonna be good.
That was very good.
177 and a half, 118 and a half club head speed, 1.5 smash.
Yeah, so that's good. That's what we're looking at.
318 carry.
Yeah.
That
And
would
then
be my
not
longest drive
some
ever.
ball that's, you know. So let's switch that up one more time.
That was legit, Kyle.
Perfect.
That's pretty dang good.
So all I did there was I switched the weight over towards the heel a little bit.
Okay.
Just giving you a little bit. There, a little bit
308.
of help closing. That's pretty perfect.
I like that.
That's
Okay.
nice ball speed for that speed.
Yep.
So that's all we need to do is probably we'll cut that back to 45 and a half.
And why on the 16 and not the 17?
Well, the 17 we're doing for more your speed, right?
Okay.
That's the one we want to practice that.
Even
because
though
we
it's more
got
flexible.
121 with that. And then once maybe you get used to it, then we go back and we get another one, 16 low, and make it longer. But this one now, we've got control over the ball, the way it's set up right there. You can hit a nice little draw. So how many is that to drivers now today?
109?
109, that's a pretty good workout.
109 drivers on the day. All right, here we go. And the longer one, it's just getting used to it. It goes right, huh?
Yep, it just goes right. And that's, again, the inertia's higher. It's harder to close the face.
Got it.
Well, my recommendation is not that long yet,
Okay.
because you're not controlling it as well.
You don't think I can grow into it?
No, I didn't say that, but you have to play in a couple weeks. I want you to actually play. So I think when we look back, we'll see the ball speed average is probably a bit higher with the shorter one.
I would bet it is, yeah.
And then when we start looking at dispersion, we'll find it's much closer to what we want.
Yeah. All right, one more. Yeah, okay. We're gonna do what Jon says here on this episode of the Road to 180. We're gonna have two shafts. We're gonna have one that's 45 and a half. And that one is gonna be great because I'm gonna hit it on the golf course. Then we're gonna have one that's 46 and we're gonna work our tails off to get faster with it.
Yes.
Why the softer flex one on the longer?
Just for speed. We
Got
were
it.
able, the softer flex, we were able to get the
122.
highest
Yep.
club head speed.
Okay.
So that one's more for as you're training, and then maybe it ends
Yeah.
up being good.
Okay.
But that one's going to definitely be more timing. We're pushing the boundaries with that 17 low, that more flexible one.
Okay, Jon, thank you.
Good deal,
This is
yeah.
fun.
Very
we got a
fun.
new driver. We've never carried it this far in our lives. This is good stuff. Thanks, Jon.
And he's smiling.
And I'm smiling and sweating.
All right. Good.
So what an epic journey we've been on here today. And also, welcome to the end of this video. You are a legend for hanging out this long. But here's what I want to wrap and summarize for you. I came in really liking the shaft until I've been gaining speed. What we found is I was launching it too high with too much spin. The spin was, I think, 3,500 when we look at that original data set that we took. Now, we got into a couple shafts here. We've got the 16 low and the 45 and a half, which is, as Jon was trying to convince me, the gamer shaft, because I can square it up, hit it a bit more solid. And then we've got the 17 low in the 46 to let's max out that ball speed and send it and go for it. Because you can get more club head speed with the longer shaft. So, I've had these for a little while now, and honestly, they're so good. I love taking this 17 low and just trying to smash it. And because you see the gains, it's low spin enough. I can keep it around 2,000, creep it up to 2,200, that the ball just goes forever. Hit some of the longest drives now that I've combined speed training plus a really well fit driver. So let's see that before and after. We've got the original, we've got 2 hive spin, 2 hive launch. Now we got the after. we've got great spin, great launch, and I can smash it. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. Super fun to hang out with Jon. Thank you so much to TPT for bringing me down. Make sure to check out tptgolf.com to find a fitter near you. Subscribe to the channel. I know it's a bit late to ask that, like 50 minutes into this video, but subscribe for the Road to 180. We're gonna keep these episodes coming, have some really good stuff planned. All right, I'll see you next time.